with more on the celebrations that are underway, guys.
You know what? We want to go back to Dallas, Texas, because they're cutting the nets down right now. We told you our colleague Sharif Ishak is there, so I believe we have a live look right now at the nets getting cut down. Kendall and I are going to talk about the game for the foreseeable future, so we have a lot to talk about. But there you go. That is photojournalist Alvin Moore. They're waiting for the great moment. Every player will get a piece of that netting that they can keep for the rest of their lives. Look at the crowd on the court. That is the historic moment. The ladder is set up. The ladder looks purple and gold, which is a very nice touch if you ask me. And then Kim Mulkey will start. She will come out, and then the rest of the team will all take a turn cutting the net down in ceremonial fashion in Dallas. We're going to keep this shot up. Kendall, just your thoughts. I mean, you and I watched this game, and we were both surprised by the shooting of the LSU Tigers.
Absolutely. You knew Iowa was going to come out and shoot well, but LSU is a more defensive-led team. You thought that they would either win playing good defense and limiting Iowa, or Iowa would outscore them. Not today. I mean, especially behind Jasmine Carson in that second quarter. She was lights out, and then Alexis Morris in the fourth really set the pace for them. It wasn't like she got too excited. The team kind of stayed calm behind Alexis Morris, and that was really, I think, the difference maker in the fourth quarter, because Iowa can shoot it. They can shoot from three, so they were able to come back into this game so easily, but good defense, better shooting by LSU than I've probably seen all season.
Yeah, I think Iowa, their goal, look, you're looking at Caitlin Clark right now. She's a phenomenal player, and I think Iowa's goal was let her shoot, dare LSU to beat us shooting the ball. And, you know, I remember Sean Payton said this when the Saints won the Super Bowl. To do something you've never done, you've got to do something you've never done. And I know it sounds kind of silly and cliche-ish, but he's right. LSU had not shot the ball like that all season. So to win the national championship, they had to do something they'd never done. But a lot of credit to this Iowa team. They're a special group as well. They fought hard. This was a really intense game. The officials called it very, very tight. Was there anything else that jumped out to you? Maybe the fouls, anybody getting in foul trouble? Was it Alexis Morris? I know, let me just tell everybody right now, Kendall is a bundle of energy, and the commentary was pretty awesome in the newsroom.
Well, I kept getting mad at you because you were assuming the game was over. And when the Iowa is so good at shooting and they have that range, it's so easy for them to get back into this. So I think just how they maintained the level head. Kim Mulkey went into half and probably told her team, do not get too excited.
Yeah, and again, look, we're back in Dallas now. This is our crew on the court in Dallas, a live look at what's going on. Again, I think this is great for the fans watching right now. I don't want Alvin Moore to trip. It looks like he's running right now with the camera. But nonetheless, this is on the court live in Dallas. You are there with the LSU Tigers right now, experiencing what they are experiencing, cutting down the nets. I heard Sharif, here we go, players going up one by one to cut down the nets, just a ceremonial, you know, part of the pomp and circumstance of playing in the Final Four. Everyone gets a piece. There we will see. Hold up the nets, always a special moment in Dallas, the LSU Tigers celebrating their championship. You're live on the court with them right now. Make sure you get the picture. Make sure it goes to Instagram and all of social media. Also, families want that too. That's a picture that you can keep and show your grandkids because you won the national championship. And again, one by one, every player will go up and do this in just a very special moment for every player on the team.
Absolutely. As a player, I think this is one of those moments that you have to visualize yourself doing in order to get there. Everyone knows when you're cutting down the net what it means. So I feel like it's definitely one of those things that all of these players have imagined themselves doing it in a national championship. You heard Alexis Morris before they even made the Final Four saying her goal was to end her senior year, her senior night in Dallas, and she did it. She's from Texas, has been to 4 different schools. For her to be able to do this on this stage, she played amazing.
And look, we are on live TV here, so roll with us. I think Sharif Ishak can hear us right now. Sharif, if you can hear us and you want to set the scene in Dallas while we watch the nets being cut down, again, I'm asking something on live TV, so if you can do that, great. If not, we'll continue to talk about what we see.
What is it again, Fletcher? I'm just watching them cut the nets right now. What an amazing finish to this season. You got to think about this, that LSU, when Kim Mulkey took over, they had won 9 games in the previous season, 26 last year. They finished in second round knockout, and this year an amazing 34 wins to win the national championship. Just an unreal turnaround by Kim Mulkey, her staff, and the players. She kept motivating her team and kept saying, hey, we shouldn't be here in year number 2. Guess what? They're here. They did it. And they won the whole thing. The first time in program history, thanks to the hometown hero, Kim Mulkey. As you can see them cutting the nets down. Everyone's getting their turn. This is going to be a long process, and you know, they deserve it. They deserve it. This is something they've been chasing forever. They went to those Final Fours from 2004 to 2008. So many greats played on that team, and they never could win. Think about it. Sylvia Fowles, Simone Augustus. They had some great coaching during those times and never won a national championship, and they're very emotional for a good reason. As they cut these nets down, look how happy they look. Getting a piece of that net. A long time coming for LSU. This is something that everyone dreams of doing, winning a national championship. LSU has won national championships in football and baseball, never in men's basketball and women's basketball until today. There's the hero of the game, Jasmine Carson. She absolutely lit it up in the first half. She did so much for this team. She is a big reason why LSU won this game. They put up 105 points. Think about it, 105 points. They haven't scored that many points, guys, since the non-conference schedule. 105 points in a national championship game. Jasmine Carson, excited and rightfully so. She was lights out, especially in that first half. Fletcher and Kendall.
All right, Sharif, thank you very much. We can't do Q&A because there's too big of a delay, but we're going to continue to look at this because Alvin is doing a great job. And again, you're live on the court right now for people watching after golf or just joining us. This is live in Dallas, Texas, the LSU Tigers national champions. You are watching the celebration here live on WDSU as the Tiger players cut down the net. The first time in program history, LSU is bringing a basketball championship back to the state of Louisiana, men's or women's basketball. Kendall, you and I talked about this. The Mulkey magic is real. I mean, this is someone who from high school, the Olympic level, college, when she got here, she's the second highest paid coach in college basketball for a reason, and I think everybody would say she's worth the money right now.
Absolutely. You saw how emotional she was on the court when she realized they were about to win a national championship. She's done it at Baylor, but for her to do it at home in Louisiana, she's talked about how much it's meant to her to do it for LSU, and you could tell. All right, here's some stats. Before Mulkey, LSU was 9-13. In year 1, 26-6 under Mulkey. Year 2, they finished 34-2. Only lost 2 games all season. South Carolina, Tennessee, both very good SEC programs. They stayed perfect at home all season under Mulkey.
Yeah, again, undefeated at the PMAC. The largest crowd, here's another stat. The largest crowd, Flau'jae Johnson, the freshman sensation, the freshman of the year in the SEC, who's also a rap artist as well, just an accomplished young woman, and she's so full of life, obviously firing up the fans as they all remain and cheer her on as LSU cuts down the nets right there. The largest crowd in the history of the Pete Maravich Assembly Center was this year. That building is almost 40 years old. It was this year for a women's basketball game. The Final Four had the highest ratings in the history of women's college basketball. I think this national championship game is going to shatter records when it comes to TV viewership. This is just a special moment that we can't, I don't have a vocabulary expansive enough to talk about how great this is for LSU as, again, we watch them live in Dallas cut down the nets.
And Angel Reese stepping up on the ladder. She has been massive all season. I mean, we've talked about her contributions on the floor. She was a leader as well. She talked about how she needed Kim Mulkey, and she's definitely turned it around under Kim Mulkey. This entire team, 9 new faces, and you heard Kim talk about how people warned her. So much personality with players like Angel Reese and Flau'jae Johnson and Alexis Morris. There was so much that people in her coaching circle were warning her, are you taking on a little too much? And Mulkey said, do you know me? No. I'm full of personality. I want my team full of personality. Seemed to work out pretty well.
And that's the thing. That's what we want in sports. You know, sometimes we ask athletes, coaches, for life, give us something. Don't just speak in cliches. And that's what I think Bob Starkey, the assistant coach, just a great guy. He's a former men's assistant, the women's assistant. He has been to every single Final Four for LSU, men's and women's team. So what a great moment for him, almost 4 decades in Baton Rouge, and he finally gets to call himself a national champion. But that's what I think is great about LSU. This team is relatable. We all know somebody that is full of life, that has character. That's Kim Mulkey. We all feel like she's our neighbor, she's our aunt, she's our cousin, she's our mom, and we all have friends like these players, and they're likable with personality. And so I think that is one of the things that has truly endeared this team to this community. You want to tell us who that is there?
Oh yeah, Alexis Morris. I mean, I just talked about how big she was in that fourth quarter. She's talked a lot about too how she's kind of the comeback kid. She almost quit basketball, has been to 4 different schools, including at Baylor under Kim Mulkey. She almost wanted to give it up, and her perseverance, her leadership on this team, she was another very big senior to lead LSU and kind of communicate Kim Mulkey's message, because she has been under her at Baylor, and she was huge today, especially in that fourth quarter. 2 points in the first half for her. After that, she scored 19 in that last second half stretch, so she was massive. On the defensive end of the floor, too, her hands were full with Caitlin Clark. She only limited her to 30 points. I know that sounds a lot, but when you know what Caitlin Clark does on the floor, that's limiting her.
Yeah, and you're right. And look, I know that Alexis Morris had a great line when she was at the press conference. She said, for anybody who thinks about giving up, don't. It took her 4 different schools in a lot of years to find the right fit. She thought she was done with basketball, and now she's a national champion, and she'll be remembered as one of the greats in LSU history.
And I think another big thing with her is you see how her and Angel Reese interact. They're very aggressive, almost in each other's faces, but it pushes each of them to make each other better, and that's kind of how this whole team acts. They want the most from each other, and it takes them calling each other out.
Yeah, and again, look, we do have crews around Louisiana. Elizabeth is standing by on the news desk. We have crews in Baton Rouge. You just heard from Aubrey Killian. We have Cassie Sherm standing by at a watch party in the Warehouse District where fans were going nuts. But it's just hard to pull away from this right now, because you are on the court with the LSU Tigers as they cut down the nets and celebrate this championship. We're now getting to the support staff. There you go, the assistant coaches. This is one of Kim Mulkey's longtime assistant coaches. Obviously, just a special moment for everyone in the LSU Tigers community. And we're going to continue to celebrate this championship again, both here in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge.
Let's see if I can get somebody. Hold up.
Yeah, and Sharif's trying to get interviews on the court right now, as you just heard as we are on live TV. I see Kim Mulkey right there. And here's the thing. They will eventually get to the podium. Coach Mulkey right now with longtime sports information director Michael Bonnet, and they will have an official press conference, but it's hard to tell them, go to the podium right now. This is what you play for. This is what it's all about. Hugging and enjoying the emotion with your team and being a part of something special. So I hear Sharif right now. If he can hear us, I know he's on a little bit of a delay. Sharif, if you have somebody to interview, that's great. If not, we'll take it back here and we'll maybe check in on some fan events.
Simone Augustus.
Yes, I'm going to try to get her. Simone, can I get you real quick? Sure. All right, I'm here, Fletcher. I'm here with LSU great Simone Augustus, who's here watching the LSU Tigers, of course, cut down the nets in their first ever national championship. I know you'll not be able to see us. We're in the crowd right now, but Simone, how great is this to watch the LSU Tigers win a national championship?
Oh, it's amazing to see this. It's a long time coming. I mean, we did what we could do to lay the groundwork, and they came in and just, built the building, tore it down, made it look amazing in the process. I'm just thankful that I was here to witness it.
When you had the statue reveal, you were very glowing of the team, and Kim Mulkey, just the job she has done in the few years she's been here. Year number 2, she kept using the motivation. Year number 2, we're not supposed to be here, and here they are.
I mean, I know, we didn't expect to be here, but we're here. And when we showed up, we were ready to play, we were focused, we were driven to get on that one goal. And we did what we needed to do to be standing here right now watching them cut down these nets.
How much does this mean to you personally, as an LSU great, to see this come to fruition?
I mean, being from Baton Rouge, going to school, hometown, I wanted to be able to do that for my team. And I wasn't able to fulfill that, but to see it happen, to see it happen in my lifetime is what matters most.
Angel Reese, she's special. There's a lot of special players on this team. Have you seen a player like this lately?
No, it's been a while. It's been a while. You mixing a little beauty and ball all together, the Bayou Barbie, just to be able to see her go out there and just play as hard as she does every night, and also inspire this next generation of ball players, of beauty ballers. It's amazing to see.
What does this do for the program, the city of Baton Rouge, the state of Louisiana, and for all the little girls who love basketball and love watching something like this happen in Baton Rouge?
I mean, it's a source of inspiration for a lot of women just to be able to watch these young ladies, come out here and win this championship. The city is going to be on fire. I know right now they're having parties, parades. It's Mardi Gras all over again, so I'm excited about that.
Kim Mulkey is very lovable, very fashionable. How has that relationship been? How amazing is it to see Kim and her tearing up and being emotional and having a good time back at her hometown, doing this for her hometown?
It's always great to see someone come home and, achieve that level of success. Obviously, we're excited about getting her. And just seeing Coach Mulkey do what she's done with the program in the last 2 years is amazing. And to see that support, show up for her is also amazing.
I appreciate you for your time, Seimone Augustus. I appreciate it. It's LSU great Seimone Augustus, who had a great career whenever she was at LSU. As we wait for Kim Mulkey to cut down the net, like I said, just in her second year, winning a national championship. By the way, she is undefeated in the title game. She is now 4-0. It shouldn't be a shocker. I said it before the game. The biggest X factor in college basketball is having a coach who's been there, done that. She did it 3 other times back at Baylor, winning those 3 national championships. And what she did in this tournament was amazing. Remember, she said there was 5 things this team had to do to win a national championship: focus, leadership, execute, rebound, and defense. And I think they did all 5 of these things in this championship run, which has been very impressive. The defense and rebounding, they said those were the 2 biggest keys, and we saw them on display here in Dallas for the Final Four. But the offense was on another level in this game. To put up 105 points in a championship game is something that I have never seen before. That is just absolutely impressive. You had a lot of players chip in, from Angel Reese, Alexis Morris in that second half to put up 19 points. She absolutely was on fire in the second half. That fourth quarter was special by Alexis Morris. And of course, like I said, Jasmine Carson, she's a big reason why LSU put up a lot of those points in the first half. She was just absolutely lighting the net up. But this is something historic for LSU, obviously, winning its first national championship in basketball, as we continue to watch the Tigers cut the nets down. We're still waiting for Kim Mulkey, and I'm assuming Kim is going to be the one who goes last, and it's going to be very epic, Fletcher and Kendall. But this whole run has just been epic. I mean, there's nothing more you can say about what this basketball team has done. As I watch over Kim, as Kim is watching her players and some of her assistants, and with a big smile on her face, knowing she came back home and did what she was going to do. I just enjoy her motivation, and her motivational tactics absolutely work. If you don't think they work, just look at what they did in this run. That is something that really works. She knows how to get her players going and knows how to get them to win big-time ball games, and you saw it in this run, Fletcher and Kendall.
Yeah, Sharif, thank you very much. Again, we are staying with the live coverage from Dallas until Kim Mulkey cuts that net down, because that is the moment that I think, look, the players, this is just a special moment for everybody, and I think Sharif's right. Kim Mulkey will go last, is the person that came here to bring a championship to LSU. Again, one of her assistant coaches right now, a great moment for a family that puts so much on the line and sacrifices so much, moving around with coaches, and to have this opportunity to call yourself a national championship. Only one team gets to do this at the end of a season, and this is live in Dallas right now as we get ready to see Kim Mulkey shortly go up on that ladder and cut the net down. Kendall?
Sharif was talking about her motivational tactics. He's got it right. He memorized all 5 of her points that she made the team memorize. At the pep rally I went to on Tuesday, she asked the crowd if they could name them. If they could, they got to be on the team. Sharif, sounds like he could be on the team.
I was going to say, Sharif, you could play for Kim Mulkey. Excellent stuff right there. I know we are looking at the scene right now in Dallas, Texas. I think we are going to be able to also look at some video while we continue, because again, we're not going away from what's happening in Dallas. It's too good right now. It's a historic moment for the LSU Tigers, but we can show you some video as well of the LSU players and some of the stars of the game, like Alexis Morris, whose second half was just so amazing in this game. She had 2 points at halftime, and then she had 16 points.
19 in the second half.
Points. Sorry, in the second half. I'm taking 3 points away from her. So we're looking at Alexis Morris right now as you continue to watch the scene in Dallas unfold live on WDSU.
She had 9 assists as well. That was big.
Yeah, that was big. And again, the LSU Tigers will eventually talk to the media and the celebration will be on. They are expected to return. For anybody watching in our area right now or streaming or online, the LSU Tigers, once we have the information, will pass it along on the WDSU digital platforms. But the LSU Tigers are expected to return tonight. There are expected to be thousands of people at the airport as well as on campus. A champion's return, if you will, once LSU gets back to Baton Rouge tonight. And then the national championship parade. They had one right after the football team beat Clemson a few years ago after the 2019 season. I don't know what day it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty awesome scene on the campus or throughout downtown Baton Rouge whenever they have the championship parade.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. You heard Mulkey saying it's going to be a party in Louisiana and Baton Rouge. You know they're going to take advantage of this. And everyone's going to go crazy. Everyone's going crazy right now. Did you see the scene at the PMAC with Aubrey? People are freaking out. I've already had people text me. As an LSU grad, this is awesome to see too.
I know so many LSU people in this community, and even if you didn't go to LSU, I didn't go to LSU, but obviously it's the flagship university of the state. They represent all of us, so you have to be happy for Kim Mulkey, this team, what they've done, and I believe we're getting closer and closer to Kim Mulkey getting on that ladder. Here she comes, Kim Mulkey with her grandson in her awesome Tiger suit. This will be the moment we've all been waiting for. Kim Mulkey and her family, that's her daughter, those are her grandchildren. Her daughter used to be one of her assistant coaches, formerly on her staff at Baylor University, and so she is making it a family affair. Her 4th overall national championship, her first at LSU, the first ever in men's or women's basketball history for the LSU Tigers. Kim Mulkey, a national champion, the LSU Tigers, national champions.
You can hear how loud it is.
Kim gets the biggest piece. No little piece for Kim. That's not how she does it. Would it be any other way? Forget like a tiny little thread of that net. Kim's taking the whole thing. And there you go. The champs, the cover of the newspapers, and holding up that net. I love it. I mean, look, there it is. Kim Mulkey, the LSU Tigers, defeating the University of Iowa, the 2022-2023 Women's College Basketball National Champions. This is live in Dallas as they cut down the nets. Kim Mulkey with her family, grandchildren. She is obviously very family-oriented. Her son's a former LSU baseball player who now plays for the St. Louis Cardinals. She said he was going to maybe get cut by the Cardinals because he wasn't focusing on baseball. He was more worried about the Final Four run. But again, the nets have been cut down in Dallas. Only one team gets to do it, and the LSU Tigers are national champions.
Man, what a scene. You could hear how loud they were there when Kim made that cut. It has been crazy. The support that they've received has been unmatched, unparalleled.
Yeah, and again, this is our photojournalist, Alvin Moore, navigating the scene, which is pretty thick, filled with media on the court in the home arena of the Dallas Mavericks, the American Airlines Center. It looks like there's another photo opportunity of some kind, maybe a group photo here with the net for everyone. Yeah, that's what it looks like it's going to be, another photo. They raised the trophy, so congratulations to the LSU Tigers. Again, you're looking live at what's happening right now in Dallas, Texas. The LSU Tigers, just a fantastic game, out-shooting one of the best shooters in recent college basketball history and winning their national championship with an awesome, fun-loving, colorful, fantastic team.
Amazing. You talk about how well their shooting was. I was telling you earlier, they scored, 54 points in their Elite Eight game against Miami? Look at them. They doubled that against Iowa. I think they realized they needed to score the points, but, I mean, I have never seen them shoot like that, score like that. Like we said, highest scoring national championship game ever. It's insane.
Yeah, again, there's the trophy. It looks like it's going to be another type of trophy celebration here, if you will. So we're going to continue to watch the scene unfold in Dallas, Texas, as Kim Mulkey celebrates a national championship with her team. I would assume that we've been on live TV, so I don't know who was the MVP. I'm assuming Angel Reese was the MVP of the tournament. Yeah, Angel Reese was fantastic. Obviously, some breakout performances today with certain players doing some special things like Jasmine Carson and Alexis Morris. But overall, fair to say on both ends of the floor that Angel Reese has been their MVP all season, and she's still their MVP.
Absolutely. You saw how many double-doubles she had this season. She broke records all year. LSU records, SEC records, just NCAA D1 records. I think she ended the season with 34 double-doubles. I mean, she was putting up insane numbers, and she was one of the reasons LSU was so good was because she could rebound so well. So when they weren't having their great shooting nights, not like they didn't tonight though, but she was always there in the paint, ready to make rebounds, second chance points. And I mean, look, it led them to this.
Yeah, and again, just an unbelievable moment. I can't wait to hear what Kim Mulkey has to say, because she was very emotional. I mean, you saw her on the sidelines there, breaking down and crying with about 1:30 left, when you knew that LSU had this game secure and Iowa knew we don't have to go hard anymore. It's out of reach. A lot of good sportsmanship on both teams. That's when Kim Mulkey, you saw the emotion hit her. I've jokingly said that I think she was kind of playing possum, so to say, that she kept saying, we're not that good, we're not that good. I think they were that good, but she made her team believe that they weren't as good as these other teams, that they didn't gel soon enough, that they were the underdogs, that they needed to have the chip on their shoulder. They did that against Utah. Utah was probably a better team. They got past Miami. Look, I didn't know if anybody thought they would get past Virginia Tech, and a lot of people had them as an underdog in this game.
Absolutely.
The odds makers had them as a 3-point underdog, so she knew which buttons to push, and that's the sign of a great coach, knowing what to do and how to do it.
Oh, look at the celebrations. We talked about how they only lost 2 games all season. Oh, here we go, hoisting.
The Waterford Crystal. There you go. Here we go. Kim. Yeah, you hear the band playing. The Tiger fight song in the background. So again, just a fantastic scene.
But we talked about how the way she motivated her team really spoke to them. So even though they only lost 2 games all season, they were still a 3 seed entering this tournament. I think they felt a little disrespect. But yeah, I mean, it's been a phenomenal scene.
Yeah, in Dallas. And again, this is WDSU sports anchor Sharif Ishaq and photojournalist Alvin Moore bringing you these live pictures from the court in Dallas as the LSU Tigers. I hear chants of Mulkey breaking out. The fans that are still there, I certainly think she deserves a lot of praise. You're looking at Angel Reese right now, Alexis Morris, 2 of the stars of this team. Angel Reese, a huge social media person. Obviously, I'm sure she's on Instagram Live right now. Sizing up the ring, showing, put a ring on it,
So
don't worry.
That was Ladisha next to her, which we actually haven't talked about, who has been huge, who was considered the X factor for this game. She had 20 points, and we still haven't talked about her because of how well everyone did as a whole, but she has been huge. They said she would be the X factor because they were trying to contain Angel Reese. You already know what Alexis Morris can do. Ladisha Williams is one that maybe doesn't get as much attention and had a pretty quiet 20 points that ended up being a difference maker tonight.
Yeah, and again, thank you. Your more youthful eyes, Kendall, looking at the small screen here. I knew that was definitely Angel Reese. But again, in the small box, you're looking live at the court, and in the bigger box right now on your screen, you're certainly looking at highlights from the national championship game. Caitlin Clark, the player of the year. She had 2 back-to-back 40-point games for Iowa. Everyone knew she was going to get hers, and she did, especially early in this game.
She broke the record for the most makes in a title game today, and still, like I said, 30 is quiet for her.
Right, when she scores 30 and LSU still wins by almost 20 points, by 17 points, it just shows you the team effort, the defense, the shooting, and I think that's going to be the story of this game. LSU had made, I don't know if LSU had made this many 3-pointers in the last month combined.
So on the season, LSU was shooting 34% from 3, and this game, let me see what they shot, 64% as a team.
Yeah. So they doubled their 3-point output and basically went toe-to-toe and beat Iowa at their own game, which is pretty fantastic and pretty amazing when you think about it. I think Iowa's game plan was let our stars shoot. We shoot the ball well. LSU doesn't. And in the end, the math is going to win for us. In LSU flip the script, so to say.
And I think they weren't counting on players like Jasmine Carson, who we've talked about a few times tonight, but Sharif had a great statistic on Twitter. Carson came into this game with 11 points in the tournament total. She did not score a point, not 1 point in the last 3 games. And today, what'd she finish with? 22.
Yeah, 22. And we did lose their shot live in Dallas again. We are on live TV right now, just kind of talking about the LSU Tigers. We do have a crew live in Dallas. You just saw the ceremonial cutting of the nets, always a special moment. So fantastic to see all those players who have so much sweat equity, so to say, in this program, waking up early, working out, having to go to school, in basketball, in travel. Just the amount of time and effort they put in to this is fantastic. And to see them celebrate as national champions is pretty unbelievable.
And I feel like a lot of them took a shot coming to LSU. I mean, 9 new faces. A lot of people switch schools, switch states. They're not from Louisiana. You have a new lifestyle. So to put it all on the line and then see this return.
Yeah, and again, we are going to send it back to Elizabeth, and we'll check in on some of the fans here in a minute, and then eventually go back to Sharif in Dallas. But what you're saying is so true. I mean, look, Angel Reese is a star player from Maryland. She wasn't considering LSU because LSU wasn't good. Kim Mulkey convinced her to come here, and then once she came, other great players came, and that says a lot about building a program and the salesmanship of a Kim Mulkey to get somebody there.
A great story. Flau'jae Johnson, you talked about it. She was a rapper sensation, signed to Jay-Z's label, so it's not like she just does this in her free time. Was on America's Got Talent now twice. When she got her visit to LSU, Kim Mulkey took her to the studio. And that, she said, sold it for her. So she knows how to appeal to her players.
Yeah, she certainly does. And Elizabeth, I think we'll send it back to you right now, because we know that fans from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, we heard from Aubrey Killian, and then we, of course, had to go to Dallas. But there are still fans celebrating in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge.
Yes, there are. First of all, excellent commentary.